the law of restoration. God's a God of restoration. Why there has to be restoration? Because ministry is depletion. Ministry is not a practice of multiplication. It's an emptying. Every preacher who walks off the pulpit knows he has emptied his whole life. It's why Billy Graham stayed in bed till 2 o'clock every afternoon in his crusades. Why? Restoration. When you sow, you have to reap to sow again. When you empty, after you have emptied everything that you've given to others, there has to be restoration. When you come in from your job at night, there has to be restoring of what you've emptied. People take out of you when you don't even know it. When Jesus turned around and says, somebody touched me, and the disciples were puzzled. They did not understand the law of restoration. They didn't know that something had just left Jesus. And Jesus said, no, virtue left me. My strength left me. I just became less. Somebody close to me just made me less. There are people that in your life, there are people, when you get through hosting them, you feel exhausted. There are others you feel renewed and ready. You must identify what happens even in your spirit. There has to be a restoration. There has to be a season to stop. I love Vance Havner, the old preacher from years ago. He said, Jesus said, come ye apart and rest a while, or ye will come apart. Come ye apart and rest a while, or you'll come apart. Your body is not anointed. Your spirit man is anointed. And your body will be weak even after God has used you. William Branham was a famous preacher from many years ago. I sat under his ministry. Phenomenal word of knowledge, and give you watch his ministry, Brother Holton. I'm sure people would come up on the hundreds, and he would look at a lady and said, your name is Lucille. You live at 1151. You had a surgery 2 months ago. It was astounding. He was known for the remarkable giftings of the Lord. Very boring preacher, believe it or not. But we all sat there for 2 hours until we could watch his gift work. And so when we got through listening to his preaching, he would call people up and he would give them specific things. He would tell them. We just all sat there stunned. How could you do such a thing? Then at the end of the service, this incredible man who could tell people their name, their address, when they had surgery, ushers had to pick him up and carry him off. Now, I was just a kid, but I sat there and said, something's wrong here. Something is crazy. Why did I have to carry him? This man got power. This man got the power of God in him. Look at it. And now he can't even walk off. Something's real crazy. His body was made for now. The anointing is made forever. And you have to know when your body cannot handle any more the anointing. I don't care how much. It's something we see in the Benny Hinn ministry. It's something we see in Reinhard Bonnke. And it's something in every preacher of the gospel. So good to have my pastor from North Carolina here today, Brother Kenneth Pleasant. So thankful. God led you here. God sent you here. There has to be restoration. I want to stop on that for a moment. We'll come back to the other. There's so many laws. If people around you are empty, they're taking what's inside of you, whether you can measure it or not, because their need is an instruction to your spirit. I will stop everything I'm doing. There's a little mother. I was coming out of Nigeria, and we have a lot of ushers for security, and she was thrusting as they always do. She was trying to thrust her baby close to me, and I knew this was an important moment for her. And her tears in her eyes, and she was pushing past everybody, holding out her baby. Would you just touch my baby? Just touch my baby. And in Nigeria, they have a remarkable understanding of the power of impartation. They know more about impartation than anybody in America knows. They know that the laying on of hands, there is a impartation that occurs. I couldn't tell you how many pastors have knelt in front of me. Please put your hand. I had one pastor of a church of 20,000 grab my hand and push it and say, touch my head, touch me, touch me. The power of impartation. I stopped everything, stopped the men. I said, let me have the baby. And laying hands on the baby. Now, when the Spirit of God in you is reaching out to someone else, there is an emptying going on in you. Ministry is not multiplication. It's loss. It's empty. It's emptying. And when you get through ministering to others, I don't care if it's a prayer inside of a store. I get in the airplane, and I was flying from London to Nigeria, and they all grabbed me on the plane and had read my books. And would I pray? Would I pray this one? Would I pray for this one? And I can say, you're thankful, you're great, you're thrilled, but there has to be restoration. Some of you pour into your kids, and you pour out, and you say, what's wrong with me? You have to have restoration. It's why Jesus took the disciples into a ship and said, let's just spend some time together. Some of us today, we're not hating people. We're not hating God. We're tired. We're just tired. We're just tired. You're not God Jr. And if Jesus even rested, you and I can rest. Hebrews says he gives his beloved. There's a place of rest. I'm asking the Lord today that the law of restoration, you wouldn't resent it. You won't feel weak because of it. You won't feel stupid because of it. It's time to be restored. It's time to go back into his presence and say, I'll learn how to be restored. The law of restoration is not a loss of energy or time. As long as you live, somebody will need you. The law of restoration is receiving from God what you need for today.